everyone, welcome back to my page. This week I wanted to discuss how to get your confidence back. Now some of us are born with just swag and confidence, and for some of us that comes slightly later in life. But even the most confident of us gets knocked back sometimes and their confidence gets impacted. So don't feel like sometimes when you're hard on yourself, if you feel low, that you're by yourself. I recently was feeling really down, and there are certain habits that I made sure that I was implementing so that I can get out of my funk, and this kind of worked for me. And I think it's important for us to be aware that there are certain things that we do to ourselves that makes our confidence go lower and lose our self-esteem. If you haven't been to my page, welcome. I'm Hamasa. I look at personal development as well as mental and emotional well-being and just day-to-day issues. And if you're new here, please do subscribe to my page, and I hope you enjoyed this video. So let me just get into it. The first habit is that despite how confident you might be feeling, something can happen, circumstances, life, situations, people, that could really knock you back or make you second guess your own worth and confidence. So it's important for us to be able to not rely how we look at ourselves and how we feel about ourselves on what other people think of us. Now I know how many times have we all been there and said, I don't care what people think of me. But unfortunately, human nature, to an extent you do, and it does bother you as much as you try and detach yourself from it. So, what can you do to not really care about what people think? Understand that sometimes people, when they give you praise, it's with an ulterior motive, or that they only see a snippet. So if you don't feel good about something of yourself, let's say your hair, for example, you don't like your hair, and someone compliments you and says, oh my God, your hair's so nice. Oh, thanks so much, but you know what? I have so many split ends, so it's looking dry, or I don't like my hair. You're still gonna knock yourself back if you don't stop relying on what other people say and start thinking of what you think of yourself and how you really feel about yourself. As people, we all want to be loved, respected, and understood. And sometimes when we feel like that's not really happening, or that people's opinions of us is not how we want to come across, we start behaving in a certain way to people please, or we start trying to adapt to try and get praise from people because we value other people's opinions above our own. So when we start doing that, you're doing so much more harm to yourself than good, because you are constantly then chasing approval, and you will never get it because you will become severely critical of yourself, and you're going to allow people to keep criticizing you and you just chopping and changing and not being true to yourself. So understanding that your opinion of you is above anyone else's is the first tip. My second tip is just self-sabotaging and talking down to yourself. Because your brain doesn't know the difference between what is and what isn't. It just believes what you tell it to. So if you're going to keep knocking yourself back, you're going to start believing that, like self-fulfilling prophecy. So the way you speak to yourself is incredibly important, because you're setting the tone of how other people view you and value you. So if you're going to downplay your abilities and skills and charisma, then other people will also feel like you're not worth that much, or you don't bring that much value. So you have to set the tone of how you speak about yourself. And that's how then people know where your boundaries are and what's allowed to be said around you and what's not okay. Next point is when you're not feeling that good about yourself, you start comparing yourself to other people. And this is where social media plays a big part. Like I said many times before, on social media, everything's very curated and it's a beautiful showreel of people's lives. So everybody always posts their wins. Nobody ever posts their fails. And if they do, it's also kind of a curated, it doesn't feel that authentic at times. So you just feel like, oh, this person was feeling low the other day and they've bounced right back, or this person bought a new car, now they feel better, or someone else was feeling sad and they bought a handbag and I'm not able to do that. It's very easy to fall into that rabbit hole. And not just social media. If you place so much value on that, it will start affecting your relationships and people that are in your lives around you in the real world. So you need to stop comparing your home, your car, your job, your friends, your family, your relationships to the people, to your friends, to your family members, because everybody is dealing with different things. So just because something may look great on the outside, it doesn't mean that it really is on the inside. Next thing would be to not overthink. When you're overthinking things, it's gonna start playing out on your mind, and you're full of negative thoughts, and those negative thoughts then start turning into self-criticism. So you need to realize what you are in control of and what you're not in control of, and only focus on the things that you are in control of. Try and look at the glass half full than half empty, because it's very easy to fall into the victim mindset. So it's important for us to say, okay, this is where I've been wrong, and there's no need for me to ruminate, which I have a more in-depth video on that you guys can look at to not fall into that. It's just thinking of all the problems and things that could go wrong instead of thinking of things that you could fix and finding solutions. So it's important for us not to overthink, be negative, and ruminate over situations. The next thing is to start taking responsibility and ownership over things instead of blaming other people. Let's say if things are not really working out for you in your job or in your career, and you blame your boss or your other colleagues or what's going on at home, you are putting your own self-esteem and confidence down because you are giving other people power. It makes your problem seem less manageable when it's in other people's hands. So instead of blame shifting, see where you went wrong, things you can do to improve, and what you could do to get out of this rut and move forward. Find a career path that's more suited for you, or work on things that you can improve, that you could show your ability and skill, which kind of links back to my first point. So these things are all linked together. The essence of what I'm trying to say is that your confidence and self-esteem comes purely from how you view yourself, how you talk to yourself, and how you treat yourself. So the minute you realize that and start giving other people that importance, that power, and stop putting so much emphasis on what other people think of you instead of what you think of you, you will start feeling a lot better and a lot more confident, because you know who you are. And you're not going to feel the need to constantly having to explain yourself. When things get tough, you just remove yourself from the situation because you know that it's crossed your boundary and you need to do what's right for your self-esteem, well-being, and confidence. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you found this helpful. If you have, please do share it with someone else. Please like and comment on this, subscribe to my page, and I'll see you guys here again next week. Thank you. Mwah.